Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. This house just ain't no home. Anytime she goes away. I know. I ought to lead a young thing along. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. When she's gone. Come on, somebody. Hello. What's up, man? What's up, y'all? It's Rico the Opinionist. Rico the Opinionist. I got some opinions this morning. Whew, it's a good morning to share them, too. Look. I'm going to make this quick. Tell you, social media is something else. I'll tell you. And believe it or not, social media is somewhat a reflection in real life. And it is interesting to hear and read what people have to say about particular topics. I saw this. Y'all watch this Pop the Balloon? There's two things that I saw. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have to talk about this. Because I know I've probably spoken about it on some level in the past, but this has come up again. And that's why I say I don't think black people really care for black children. I don't give a damn what y'all say. I debate anybody. I don't think black people like black children. I just don't. Not all, but for the most part. I don't think they care for black children. I was watching this one of these episodes. I don't watch it all the time, but sometimes I'll stop and watch this Pop the Balloon. And there was a gentleman there. I think he was over 30. And I guess he was choosing from this group of young ladies. And, of course, this Pop the Balloon. And he said that he didn't have any children. I think he was over 40. Or close to 40, something like that. I tried to get out of here, y'all, before they start walking these damn dogs. And here they are. At least they're not big dogs. But so, they were literally ragging on him because he was over 40. He had never had any children. You should have heard what these people were saying. You know, wow, you ain't never had no children? The chick was asking him, so you never had any kids? He's like, no, I ain't never had any kids. I mean, like, I understand, but you ain't never have a scare? Did no woman ever try to put a kid on you and try to baby and just grilling him? I said, this is insane. It's like it's against the law for you to be a full-grown adult and probably deciding not to or make sure you didn't have any children. Like, that is such an awful thing. And they were insinuating, and it's been all over social media. Insinuate, well, a man is over 35 or 40, he ain't got no kids. I don't believe that he ain't want to have none. I think it's something wrong with his plumbing, or he can't have none. I'm telling you. And then they get to the point, but shit, maybe because he don't really like women. Oh God, you know how far we've degenerated? Is that right? Is that the word? Did I say it right? How far we've fallen morally as a group? And I know ladies over 25, you 25 years old, you black, you ain't got no kids. I know they be on y'all ass. And it's the weirdest thing in our community. Like, there's some kind of sign of adulthood or maturity, and that's not it. That's a part of natural reproduction function that is supposed to be reserved for when you got some stability. You got a husband, wife, or wife, husband, and whatever. You got a home. But we just have kids like to fill a void. It's weird as shit. And then after that, with all that nonsense, I happened to come across a video where Willie D was interviewing Kool Moe Dee, one of our hip-hop icons, Kool Moe Dee. And I'm sure, I don't know if he's 60 or right at 60, because he was young when I was young, or he was a little older than me because I'm 56. So Kumo D must be probably right at 60. And he said, no, I never want to have any children because, I dated a lot of chicks. He said, when I had girlfriends and stuff, they would express that they wanted to have kids. And no, I'm too young. I want other things. He said, I wanted other things. And, he said, damn, how come when they have sex, kids have to be produced? I've always said this. So how are we having sex today and kids are still being created and all this technology? He was explaining that. He said, no, this is not what I wanted. I didn't want any kids. I didn't want to be a father. He said, I like women. I like being with them. I like having sex with them. I like dating them. But I didn't want to have any kids. And I said, that sounds very mature for him as a young man to realize that. To realize at 18, 19, 20, 25, and 30, no, I ain't trying to have no kids. But, we can date. Knock pictures off the wall with your little fine ass. But I don't want no kids. And it's almost like, and Willie D, he ain't making no better. He go like, I hear you. I guess I understand. That kind of shit. These old small-minded Negro Americans. And I said, well, right on, brother. Nobody appreciated that with all the crises that we're going through with this single motherhood. And this small group of black men got multiple baby mothers, got multiple kids. There's a brother in Tennessee. Y'all saw it years ago. He was on Yonla. 64 kids by 20-some women. But the men who decide not to bring in a bastard kid to out of wedlock or say, I just don't want to be a father, y'all questioning their mental health, y'all questioning their sexuality. I'm sorry, not there, but ours. I never had any kids either. Ask me, shit, I didn't want any. Or how'd it go? I'm like, it wasn't on my mind to have kids with anybody. I'm like, Kumo D, shit, I was just trying to have sex. I wasn't trying to have no damn kids. So, and then there are people who look at you like, how are you able to do that? I don't know. It's called condoms. It's called her being on birth control. It's called an actual pull-out method that works. Sometimes it's referred to as abstinence. It's a lot of ways. It's not required when you have sex that children have to be produced. That's what I'm saying. People have kids just for like symbolic reasons. But then realize, oh shit, I got to raise this. This is not a trophy you sit on the shelf and allow it to collect dust without paying any attention. And that's what we're having. We got a lot of people lining up to be baby mamas. We got a lot of people lining up in our community, lining up to be baby fathers. And the children are the ones that got to suffer because these people didn't know how to exercise sexual discipline or reproductive choice in a sense that benefits a child. And so I'm like, what kind of conversation is this to have? So people over 30 never had children. There's something wrong with their reproduction. Or if it's a man, what somebody told Kumo D, I'm telling you, the comments were terrible. Come on, man, go ahead and live your truth. The comments were on his ass. I'm like, wow, come on, man, live your truth. You can be who you are. You can really live your best life. Like, what? I'm telling y'all be talking about racism, white supremacy. Okay, I get it. But as Dr. Claude Anderson put it, we sure behave inappropriately under racism, white supremacy. We talking about some populate the mass shit. We don't know what to do with the population we have. We're not very attentive to the population that we have. So that's great. Of course, there's a such thing as there are women, unfortunately, unable to reproduce because of some kind of medical reason. But that's not that's a part of it as well. But to insinuate that because a young woman or a man is perfectly healthy, he skeets, he shoots soldiers out, his soldiers are marching, but he chooses to shoot them in a condom. or he chooses to make sure he pulls out before he, whatever. She chooses to get on birth control because she decided, hey, I don't want any kids. I want to have a full life. I want to do this. I want to do that. When I've been asked in the past, I'm like, shit, I don't come home at night. I don't care for puppies and dogs and stuff like that. But if I had one, my damn dog would starve. I leave home that day, get home by 11, 12 o'clock that night. Damn bowl empty. No water. He ate the last kibble and the bit. And been sitting there starved for 6 hours waiting on my ass. No. That's called having self-awareness. But we don't seem to have that. We don't care. Because we think it's some kind of status symbol. Well, I got kids. And then a lot of these young men, the reason they're around here reproducing, mindlessly reproducing, because they're searching for manhood through their zipper. And a lot of ladies are searching for a man. I can have my baby by him, he gonna stay. Or I have a baby by him, he got some money. Or, girl, he got curly hair, he mixed it. I want my baby to have his hair. Or, damn, little mama red ball and shit, I get her pregnant. Just all kinds of reasons other than having a kid after you said I do. Or having a child after you've established a home with the woman or the man that you're with. And y'all been together at least 5 years. Well, this house is stable, so let's go ahead. We can introduce a new life into our life. No. We just bring babies here all raggedy in a messed up situation. And poor kids got to be out here damn near left defenseless because they weren't brought here. And I'm so sick and tired of black children being created out of one-night stands, freak-offs, horny nights. What I'm saying is the majority of black children are not planned. They're a bunch of oops, baby. And they wonder why why black children act so unloved, or they present, not being wanted. Because they weren't wanted. People just screwing. And so to go on to attack mature adults who decided, like, you know what, I want to do other things in my life than be a parent. They're the ones being attacked. But I'm telling you, I can't hardly do it, y'all. Y'all make it tough to be an African American. Y'all make it tough to be a part of the black race in this country. Y'all make it so tough. Because of nonsense. Yeah. But anyway, shout out to Kumo D. Shout out to the brother on Pop Balloon. Can we bring some decency and decorum back? Damn. And I don't understand. Okay, I guess there are a lot of us in this country. If you were to tell them, hey, let's all meet up at this stadium where they play football at, for those who decide not to have children, it's a lot of us spread out across the country, living our lives, doing our thing, getting a chance to keep all our money to ourselves, whatever money we make, leave and get ready when we want to. It's just a freedom that it becomes addictive. It's almost intoxicating. So you're like, I'll pass. So have I ever had like paternal instincts or that need to want to reproduce? Of course, I'm human, goddammit. But then I also looked at my reality. I think when I was 29, it hit me when I was like, I think it hit me when I was like 29. And then I shook it off. Then when I was 34, it hit me again real hard. I said, oh, wow. But then I shook it off. I'm like, shit, no. Because I looked around me and society has changed a lot. I missed out on Ms. Rico in the 90s when I was a young man in my early to mid 20s. We still liked each other legitimately before this ugly music started coming in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like 99, 2000, the music got really ugly. The movies got rough. And society got on that whole feminist, gender warish foolishness in our community. White men and black and white women have always had their gender war, but they still able to get together and marry and still be together. That gender war in the black community got us straight separated. Well, we ain't like being in the same room with each other. This shit is weird, but that's another video. So anyway, shout out to Kumo D. Shout out to the brother on the Pop the Balloon. Don't let these old weird up. And then the people that were attacking him, full of tattoos. out of shape, overweight, lace fronts, broken English, IQ of turtle shells. So you never take reproductive or parenting advice from nobody coming out the hood. These folks ignorant as hell. Not all, but too many. But anyway, it's your man Rico. Rico, the opinionist. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be cool. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that Cash App. $RicoRiversMSW. Talk to y'all later. Peace.